I was just reading some of the Pope's news during his audiences during the week, and at one of them he made some off-the-cuff remarks which I thought would interest you particularly, because what he said was that priests giving homilies are to transmit one idea, one sentiment, one invitation, and within 10 minutes. He says after 8 minutes, preaching gets dispersive and no one understands. He finished up by saying, never go over 10 minutes, exclamation mark, ever. So I'd better get on with it. That's just about a minute gone. It is important, though, that I think that we do, if we can, unfold something of the readings and apply it to, we can't apply it to every life, of course, but generally to help us live the next week in the presence of God. And it seems to me that in my life anyway, and maybe in yours, we can't always see God in action. In fact, sometimes, we're praying away and praying earnestly for something and it doesn't happen. And we can't see God in my bad health or my lack of a job or my family falling to bits. And I'm still praying away and still can't see anything of God's healing hand in my world. I think that's an experience that we all would have had at some time. And yet we know deep down that God is there still caring for us. It's a bit like in Baruch's time that we just heard. The whole nation had been taken into slavery. It was awful, and they thought, that's the end of us. But Baruch was saying, no, it's not the end of us. God has a plan. And so he kept bringing people back to that. No, we can trust God. We can't see it at the minute, but we can trust God. And I may have shared with you before, but it was a profound experience for me. When we went to World Youth Day in Toronto, we came back via a place called Banff. Many of you may know Banff. It's a beautiful place, and it's in the mountains. But when you get to Banff, you come down right to the bottom to a little place called Lake Louise, which is just beautiful, this massive, perfectly clear lake. And so we were all a bit tired at that stage, and the person in charge of the bus said, well, we're here for sort of almost half a day. So you can stay on the bus and have a sleep. Pretty attractive. He said, or we've got this beautiful lake here. We've hired some little canoe things. You can go for a row on the lake, or you can walk around the lake, which is quite a long walk. Or he said, if you are really, really in good shape, he said, we've organised a person to take you up the mountain, all the way up to the glacier. We've hired a guide. And so we need to know straight away if you wanted to go on that, because it'll be leaving straight away. It's a long, long day. And so he said, how many want to go? So like an idiot, I've got my hand up. So off we go off the bus, and we're straight on this journey up this wretched mountain to the glacier. And it was hard work. But the thing that was certainly getting to me was that whoever the guide was that they'd employed had no idea where he was going. Because when you'd get to a division in the track, when you'd obviously want to go right because you could see it was so much easier, he would say, no, you've got to go left. And so the next one you'd want to go left because it was easier. Say, no, you've got to go right. I'd almost made up my mind to sort of say, look, excuse me, but use your brains. this can't just go on. Obviously, you haven't been up here before, and you're making a lot of mistakes. I didn't say it, thank you, Lord, because after about an hour he said, right, you can all sit down now. And he said, and while you're sitting down having a rest, turn around and look to where you've come from. And when I looked back, every time that he said go left and I wanted to go right, he was right, because it was easier to go right, and then it led all the way down to nothing, and then you come all the way back up and go the way he said. Every time he was absolutely, perfectly right. And after that, when we moved on, if he said, did we go left here? I didn't even look right. I just went left. He said, go right. I just went right. And I suppose what I learned from that was sometimes we can't see what God is doing in our life until it's done, until we kind of sort of say, oh, Lord, yes, now I see what you were doing. Yes, now looking back, yes, you were right. I know I was saying, where are you, and all of that, but yeah, looking back, you were there all the time, guiding me and almost sort of making me go the right way so that we would all be united one day in heaven. And so that sense of trust in God, I think, is an important one coming out of the scriptures today. That even though in the midst of our ignorance in a way, we can't see where we're going, we can, in fact, trust this God who loves us, and that if we follow him, we will reach the mountaintop.